What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunched Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. I ran across this article by Alex McCarthy, okay, and it says Tyson Fury has an unbeaten record, but one punch that cut open his eye nearly ended it, and it didn't come from Deontay Wilder. If we go back on memory lane, as you guys can see here, the picture of him taking on Otto Wallin, which was an undefeated Swedish fighter, that he was supposed to be another prep fight for Tyson Fury to welcome him to the ESPN lineup, because you know he signed a contract for 80 million pounds to fight on ESPN for 5 fights. And this was the second of those 5, or the 5th fight that he took on Otto Wallin. Well, Otto Wallin was a guy that, you know, he was undefeated. He didn't know defeat. And whenever you fight an undefeated fighter, regardless of what level you think or feel he's on, you're going to run into resistance, because the resistance of the unknown is someone that doesn't know defeat. Otto Wallin didn't know defeat. And the second round, from a punch, Otto Wallin opened up 2 of the nastiest cuts that I've ever seen on a fighter, besides probably Vitali. Okay, Vitali had a probably worse with that cut because it was leaking, but this one was no exception. It was free flowing from Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury handled it. He went through those rounds. Doctors came over in between the rounds worried about it, but he was winning the fight. But he was pressured. He was forced to fight and protect that eye. And, you know, Otto Wallin was a smaller fighter, a southpaw, you know, fairly decent hand speed, was able to open up those cuts, okay? Let me counterpunch Alex McCarthy for a minute, okay? He's saying, oh, it didn't come from Deontay Wilder. No, it didn't. It came from Otto Wallin. What does this mean? This means it could happen again. Yeah, it can happen again. But I think it's one of those things. This is like an article that cautions everybody, like, look what could happen, because we didn't expect that to happen to Tyson Fury, and it could happen again. It could happen again. He's very real right about it. But Deontay Wilder, to throw him in the mix, I think is the same thing that got Deontay Wilder beat. Because Deontay Wilder looked at Tyson Fury as he fought. He seen Tyson Fury fight, and he saw Otto Wallin really rough him up, push him, challenge him. And he seen the cut, and I think the arrogance of that, he tried to take credit from somebody else's hard work and dedication. You know, Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury in 2018 at that time. This was the year after, maybe almost a year after. And Wilder swung a lot of punches. He missed a lot, but the 2 that he landed hit pay dirt. Okay, he caught Tyson Fury in the 9th, and then he caught him again in the 12th. And the 12th had almost ended it, but none of that had anything to do with cuts, okay, as far as punches, because Wilder punches to knock you out. He doesn't punch you to touch you, whereas Otto Wallin, he's not known to be a power puncher. We seen that in the Dominic Breazeale fight. He went 12 rounds by beating the piss out of Dominic Breazeale, and Dominic Breazeale was knocked out cold by Wilder. So, yeah, he didn't possess that type of punching power, but what does he possess? Chopping hand speed from southpaws like Otto Wallin, they pose a problem like that, especially when you chop with punches. Ali was known for that. You know, that he chops with those punches, in the leather, in the form of the way that he's punching and throwing those punches can create cuts in the skin, especially if you do have thin skin. Okay, and Tyson Fury doesn't have rawhide skin. He does have pretty thin skin. Is it the thinnest? I don't think so, but it's still thin. And I don't think he'll fight Otto Wallin again. You know, I don't think that'll ever be the case unless Otto does something that upsets everything, that now he's in a position to take on Tyson Fury again. This is what I think of. I think of someone else that doesn't punch hard, that's also a southpaw, that's also has very fit, quick hands and quick feet. And I'm talking about Alexander Usyk. So let's look at that. Okay, I think this would be better to compare besides a Wilder fight. I think something that could possibly happen in the future, which is an Usyk fight. Okay, Alexander Usyk could fight Tyson Fury if he beats Anthony Joshua again, and that's up in the air. Okay, I will give you guys a prediction as time permits, because I'm looking how and seeing how everything unfolds. But there is a possibility that Tyson Fury beats White and Alexander Usyk beats Joshua again, so they could be fighting each other. Now, them coming face to face to fight in a fight, it could be a situation where Tyson Fury could get a cut like that. Okay, he might get cut in that, or hitting that same cut where those stitches, they may reopen. And if they do reopen, this will be a totally different situation from Otto Wallin, because Otto Wallin struggled to target that eye, which the elusiveness of Tyson Fury stopped him from doing so. Well, with Alexander Usyk, I don't think he will have that much trouble catching Tyson Fury as much as Otto Wallin did. Otto Wallin's, he's a quick fighter, but he's also kind of rugged and reckless, and he's not as accurate as someone like Usyk. Okay, Usyk's very accurate, and if he does create a cut, it could be bigger problems for Tyson Fury than ever Otto Wallin ever imagined. And they might, in that case, stop the fight, because if Usyk gets acquainted with you and starts hitting that eye, and Tyson Fury can't really see, and he's fighting that eye, and he's trying to fight this guy, bars, he could be in big trouble that way. But bringing Deontay Wilder up again is the same reason Deontay Wilder lost, because he thought, oh, well, because I hit him with my power, he's not the same fighter, and, you know, and all this, that, and the other. And then we all knew what happened in 2020, less than, about 4 or 5 months later. He got handled by Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this particular article concerning Tyson Fury. Can that eye open up easier? Will it be a problem in the future? You guys tell me. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.